what is up, everyone? Welcome to me breaking down my third place finish at the SBNC. Going to go over a little bit of the strategy that I went through, how I got to the bets that I got to, and a little bit of what Scores and Odds has to offer and how they helped me take it down. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Here's the leaderboard. As you can see, me in third place. Two guys that clearly deserve to win more than me in first and second place. So we're just going to break things down here. Going to look into my bets, and we'll just get started. Basically, day one, my strategy was to break things down into game segments. So the first game started at about 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern time on Friday. So my goal was to get every cent of money into my bets on Friday for the first round of games and do none of the second rounds of games. Didn't go great. There were some problems. I couldn't bet points props, which obviously made a problem for me because that was half of mine. So went all over the place, did little sample props. That's why I bet $1.35 on Cole Anthony assists and $1.15 on Brooklyn spread like a big old dum-dum. But basically I put in all these and tried to see and change where I was at based on how the beginning games went compared to the late games. So the beginning games, I lost it a lot. I assume I lost a lot. So basically the second set of games, I had, I had 1,300 plus 300 plus 300 plus 350 plus 350, which I accidentally placed at the beginning. So roughly, $2,800 left. I was not sitting pretty after the first round of games. Essentially, I put in some ridiculous same game parlays, ridiculous parlays. Hornets minus 12 and the over of CJ McCollum. Got onto it by the Scores and Odds app. This is basically the page, and it kind of tells you can sort by the biggest differential between RG projections and what currently is the line on different sites here. I mean, it helps when you're prop shopping a lot, but it also helps me get onto things like going through, for instance, Dave Rubio obviously being in a new role. Most sites have gotten him probably wrong when it comes to how his shot volume. Playing 31 minutes without Sexton there, big increase in usage. So his three-point attempts throughout the course of the season have been a little bit lower than what they will be in the offense without Sexton. So that's obviously a bad line. But we're not breaking down that. We're talking about the Sports Betting National Championship. So McCollum, Scores and Odds got me on. This one, just ridiculous same game parlay because I needed to win a lot of money. Paid plus 2,500. This was my main bet that ended up keeping me in. If this would have lost, I would have been entirely out. But Mitchell under 0.5 steals, McCollum over 3.5. Like I said, McCollum big plus odds. My line moved from 2.5 to 3.5, so plus 140 on the over there. That's why I threw that in. And Davion Mitchell, I need another plus odds, or else I'd have to do a 3-pick parlay or a 3-leg parlay. I just like Mitchell's under on steals. Got lucky he got into foul trouble, but essentially hasn't had a steal in like 70% of games. So it seemed like a good line to me to this. And then college football, I don't know much of anything about it. I'm terrible at it, but just picked up some stuff from Scores and Odds. Someone over there mentioned that Cal was having a few COVID issues. So put a G on Arizona money line, happened to win that, which put me in pretty good shape. Put all my money in on the Rockets Denver game because that was the earliest game possible. I wasn't doing any more college basketball, so that was the earliest basketball game possible, and it would end prior to the later games going. So essentially put all it in. Did not go great. Did not go terrible, but did not go great. Actually, no, straight up went terrible. That's not true. So ended with about, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, roughly 7,000. So basically where I was the night before. And the first set of picks that I made down here paid out. So I had a little bit of money. So I placed 3,000 on Alex Caruso over 3.5 assists. Scores and Odds got me on that one. And then to give myself a little bit more upside, put myself potentially more in the game, I parlayed that with Dennis Schroeder over 5.5 assists. That one was not Scores and Odds. That was me, and I'm betting it again today. But essentially get that nice little upside at plus 130. Works out great. So I got that, happened to win both. Thought I was out of it for the Schroeder one. So I had won both Caruso ones. I was sitting at about 7,000. Placed all of it on the over on points for Westbrook, and he did terrible. So lost that 7K, but had enough at 15K to kind of get myself in position to win it. So essentially, this is the leaderboard here, where it was sitting at prior to Sunday morning games starting, because you could not place a bet after the first football game started. So everyone had to have all their bets in. I was sitting in about 12th with 15K. Guy in first was at 65K. Second guy was at 30K. So essentially, my strategy here was to give myself a chance to win it, but also do a little double jeopardy thing where I don't wager the entire amount, knowing that almost everyone could bust because everyone was going for first. The leader had a 30K lead over the guy in second and massive leads. If I was in 12th at 15K, everyone else below me had 15K, and 20% of bettors had already busted. So my thing was I wanted to give myself two separate parlays that would either possibly get me into first, possibly get me into second. So the first one was a 3-pick parlay: Barnes over 18.5 points, Allen over 11.5 points, Beal over 4.5 points. Scores and Odds put me on the Jared Allen one. But essentially, I put $11,000 down here to get 66,000, 65,000, whatever that is, just enough to get over the guy that was in first, because I thought he was not going to make a bet. So I put that in there. And my second reason for doing two separate parlays was because I was betting all the late basketball games. So they didn't start until 6 p.m. Eastern time. You had to have everything locked in at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So if any one of these guys got scratched, I had zero chance at first. So I ran another 3-pick parlay where if someone got scratched on either of these bets, I still have a chance at first. This one was going to be enough to get me into second place, what I thought could be second place. So roughly 42,000. That was $7,000 more than the guy that was in second place currently to start the day. So Kuzma under on steals, Fournier over on points, Joe Harris over on 3-pointers. That one Scores and Odds got me on, slash the RG projections. I went all in on these two 3-leg parlays. And yeah, happened to win both. Thought that would, at the beginning of the day, I thought 109,000 would for sure be enough to get me into first. But Jets are too cool. Of course, decided to go all in on the Arizona Cardinals. Just all in. Props to him. And then this guy was sitting at, I think, 4th place with 24,900. Went all in on this absolutely incredible parlay. I just props to this guy. Broncos first half spread at +6.5. They were up by like 21 in the first half. Bills, Jags. First of all, Jags +14.5. They won that game, I believe. And under 49 points, it was like a 9-6 score. So it wasn't even remotely close. This guy absolutely deserves to win. Props to him. Don't even care that he cost me a decent amount of money. Either of the two guys at first, fantastic bets. This guy, again, was sitting at 65,000, 64,000, something like that. All in first place on one single bet, which he actually put the money line in there too, which at +185 was a little bit ballsy. So that's basically what my strategy was. Third place, can't really complain about it, but I kind of have been thinking about strategy for this for the entire last year, and it just turned out well. But yeah, biggest help was over at Scores and Odds. You just go over to NBA, you go over to the props section, pulls up this. You can check all these, check where the biggest discrepancies are. That's an interesting one. Might have to bet that after the show with JaVale McGee likely playing a decent amount of time. That's how I ended up getting third, and Scores and Odds played a big role in it. If you guys have any interest in signing up, my link will be in the chat. I'll give you a nice little discount on a monthly subscription. Currently $19.99 on a 5-day pass. Monthly is $49.99. Yearly $399.99. So if you go through that link, get a nice little discount there. Plus, I mean, if you're in a legal betting state, $100 a bet gets you drastically more. You can pay off your yearly subscription in a few days. Even $20 a bet can pay off easily over the course of a year. I think during baseball, won 79 units. Got all my picks and this beautiful prop shopping pool where even if you don't want the advice, this prop shopping tool pays for it in itself, because you can see the drastic disparities in the actual price of each of these props. Over the course of time, 100 bets can change your ROI as much as 10-15% just by prop shopping. It's the most important thing to know. So this place makes it nice and easy. Absolutely fantastic site. Go get signed up. Again, link in the bio at scoresandodds.com/Grant Niefer. And yeah, I'll give you a nice little discount. But thanks for watching. Looking forward to the Sports Betting National Championship next year. We're out of here. See you, kids.